We ran some information out of our remote monitoring service in the UK, Merlin.net, to look at how many patients were programmed, what vectors were programmed on our LV leads, okay? About 80% were programmed D1M2, right?
Because we are used to the bipolar.
Correct, because we're used to bipolar leads. It should be the reverse.
Yes.
Okay?
Should be what?
P4. You should be placing P4, probably, not D1, which is the most basal electrode,
yes.
okay?
Or M2, M3.
Maybe, yeah. But you should be, this is always, D1 is pretty much always the most apical lead. It doesn't mean it's apical, but it's the most apical.
Yes.
Right, and we've got some data that says that apical LV pacing is probably harmful in some people. It's not good, right? So we want to pull that, we want to be not do. If you ever see them program D1, M2, that's just how it came from the factory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah?
So you should program P1, M2 or P1, M3?
You should find the best site, is what you should do. So you don't know. Can't tell you which one it is until you put the lead in and take some measurements. Okay? You want to be programming basally though. You want to be going basal. Mid or basal is good. Apical, probably bad. There are probably some people who apical's fine and it's probably better, but the majority of people we anticipate that basal is better because it's further away from the RV lead as well, right?
Yeah.
And we're trying to get anatomical separation. If you put an LV lead apical, it's coming around, you know, it's coming around towards the RV lead, and now we're just resynchronizing that rather than that.
Okay. You said something that's a little counterintuitive to me. You said the ventricular lead had a high impedance, which meant it's going to take a little less current. So yes, but
Perfect.
Yep.
But when we see high
From
impedance,
Ohm's equation.
Yeah.
yeah, but when we see high impedance, we usually get a feeling that there's something wrong.
Yeah.
I'm
What
somewhat-
is the definition of high impedance?
Within your
Within the
normal.
range.
Yeah.
What is the definition of high impedance? More than 2000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is less than 2000.
This is okay. This is good. This is perfect. If we get numbers like that, I'm like, yeah, brilliant. There's nothing wrong with the lead. It's a new lead. There's nothing wrong with it. And you need to look at trends, right?
Yeah.
This one measurement here means nothing to me. Someone tells me that sends me a troubleshooting case and that's one number. I'm like, what's that? I don't know what that means, right? I want to look at the long-term trend. And this was long-term trending high.
Same.
Well, it's okay, right? It's no problem. The lead's working fine. It's got a good threshold. It's okay. It's got a good threshold, high impedance. We're gonna hardly suck any current out of this battery for the LV lead. This is good. This is exactly what we want. Okay. So anyway, so we've got a small R wave. We've also got an alert, and the alert says secure sense is on. So secure sense is an algorithm in our device. It's probably my favourite algorithm, right? So we'll come on to that in a minute. Secure sense is on, and it detected non-sustained RV oversensing. Hello? What does that mean? That means it's picked up some extra signals on the tip ring electrode, okay? Right? So tip ring has detected some additional signals. So what secure sense is, secure sense, so we detect, initially we detect our intervals, we detect VT, VF from the tip to the ring, right? That's our sensing electrode, our sensing configuration. When the tip ring detects a fast rhythm, it then says, well, that could be VT, VF, or it could be something else.
Most probably it's something near field.
Yeah, well, tip ring, so we don't know what it is at this point. Well, we're seeing a fast rate on the tip to ring. It then does a second check, right? It checks between the coil and the cam. So it looks at the rate of the coil to cam, okay? And that's the secure, we call that the secure sense channel. It's also the morphology channel. It's not looking at shape, it's just looking at rate.
Yes.
So tip ring is fast, coil to can is fast. What are you going to do? Deliver therapy, right? Tip ring is fast, this to this, not fast,
That makes sense.
don't deliver therapy.
That makes sense.
That makes sense, right? Yeah? So it will inhibit therapy, and if it sees 5 of these mismatches, so that mismatching that, so the trigger is that's fast, right? Tip ring's fast. That's the thing that can initiate it, and then it does a double check on this one here, right? So if you see 5 events of that, then it will send you an alert, okay, or an alert on the device, okay? So it will inhibit therapy for oversensing on the near field channel. Right? It's really nice. It stops people getting inappropriate shocks for a wide range of things. Fractured leads, T-wave oversensing. It's really intelligent. It is a really good algorithm.
Very simple.
Beautiful algorithm. So that's my favourite algorithm, right? Patients don't get inappropriate shocks anymore. You know? Okay, so let's have a look at these trends, because remember I said in P, trends don't mean anything. Oh no, one measurement means nothing, right? Trends mean things, right?
Yeah.
So here is this patient's RV sense amplitude trend. Here, at implant, we can see the doctor did a good job. Good doctor.
Yes.
Then this happened.
Yes.
Micro dislodgement.
Micro dislodgement could be, let's have a look. This one, who knows what this one is?
PVC.
Normal. Could be a PVC, and then these things here. Okay. Alright, that's interesting.
Maybe here he had an attack of VT or VF or
Possibly.
something.
Could be. I mean, this is these measurements here are at week. Each dot is a week.
Yeah, okay.
So each dot is a week, and it's an average. It's an average of signals measured in
Maybe
that
it was
week.
on therapy.
And it measures 3 or 4 intervals per day. Okay, measures 3 intervals, takes an average of that, or 7 intervals a day, and then makes that an average every week, and then plots it here. Okay,
Probably it was on some sort of therapy.
could be. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Remember, if you had VF, you'd have to be measuring your R wave with VF. It only measures the R wave once a day,
Yeah.
so it would be unlikely that you would pick up VT-VF.
That's from November to February. That's 3 months.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, he's not on VF for 3 months. Yeah. I mean, he's not got an LVAD. If he had an LVAD, that's a possibility, right?
And he stayed for another 6 months, nearly normal.
No, yeah. Well, we don't see any signals here. There's no measurements.
From May to August.
No measurements. So let's have a look here. This here then is what's really nice. It doesn't just do this. It also shows you some measurements that it took. All right. So this here then goes to here, right? So what have we got? This is the ventricular lead. A pace. There's A pace. 5V pace. And then this. So this is the R wave. What is this?
Non-capture.
What is that?
No. Either the atrium is not captured.
This is ventricle. This is a ventricular electrogram.
Yes, and the ventricle. وبعدين وراها حاجة.
That's the ventricular near field.
This is the near field.
The far field.
Maybe it's a T-wave.
Maybe it's a T-wave, and what's this here?
It
This
doesn't
looks like
look
a
like a
T-wave.
T-wave.
This too spiky to be a
Yes,
T-wave,
yes.
right?
It's
This
not,
is too
doesn't
spiky.
look like a T-wave.
So
Sorry, sir. That's from the tip to the coil or
tip to the ring. Because this is the sensing, so it only senses tip to ring, right? So it'll give you an electrogram from the tip to the ring, okay?
Far field, R wave coming from the left ventricle.
Possibly. It's a
Non-capture.
bit of a unicorn.
Yes.
There's some sort of interaction between both
Yeah,
leads.
maybe.
Non-capture
So
of
it's
the
a-
left ventricle.
I mean, could this be a fractured signal?
Oh.
Too wide.
Could it?
Too
Yeah.
wide.
No,
Too
it's
wide.
not that
This one.
regular and
This
sharp and time-wise related. No.
No.
Okay,
Too wide.
we'll come back.
Non-capture of one ventricle and the other one is...
Could be. So you're capturing the left ventricle, and then the wavefront comes over.
Yes,
You see this
Yeah.
not infrequently.
Yeah.
Lots of capture in LV, and then you sense late on the RV.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, so that it could be that. Okay. What about the impedance trend for the RV lead?
Perfect.
Perfect.
Very good.
Nice and stable, not moving at all.
Yeah.
So we're all good, yeah? So it doesn't look like, well, something weird's going on, but the lead impedance stays stable, and the threshold stays stable on the RV lead. Now here is the patient's intracardiac electrogram from the non-sustained, so secure sense will store an electrogram. Say, okay, here is the mismatch of the near field versus the far field. This is the far field channel here. Coil can, right? And it calls it VS2, secondary channel, right? So there it is, ticking along, all normal, right? All good? This is normal, yeah? Normal, sensing fine, yeah?
Yes.
Everyone happy with that?
Yes.
Atrial channel, so A pace, all good, A pace, all good, A pace, all good, right? That's okay. So we're atrial pace and atrial capturing, looks fine. Ventricular lead, A pace, 5V pace,
R wave double counting with T wave over sensitive.
okay. But that's the T wave.
That's the T wave.
Consistent.
That's the
That's
T
the T
wave.
wave.
Yes, we have T wave.
And there's this.
This looks like an R wave double counting.
R wave double count. It would be if you get R wave double counting, it's a continuous signal.
Consistent.
Yeah.
It's not consistent.
Not consistent. It's
Yeah.
completely not consistent. Okay. So we went through some potentials. One was we're pacing the 5V, but we're losing capture on the LV.
The best vent-based signal is exactly like
Yeah.
the sensed one.
So when we bi-V pace, and we're bi-V pacing LV first, okay? And on this one, you know it's LV first because of these little lines going to the left, okay? If it was going to the right, it would be RV first. If it was straight, it would be pacing simultaneous, okay? So if we now zoom, I'm going to zoom in on this. So one potential cause of the electrograms was it's pacing, it's losing capture on LV, and then the wavefront is moving across, and we're seeing it late on the RV, right? Well, not late, just as it moves across, right?
You mean you're losing capture on the RV and you're capturing on the LV?
No, reducing the explanation was we lose capture on LV, and then it comes to the RV, and then it picks it up on the RV channel.
Another camera?
No. Just imagine you got LV lead, RV lead, right?
Okay.
If this lead, you're right. It was the other
You're
way
losing
around.
capture on the LV.
Yeah.
You're losing
It is
capture on
capture.
Capturing the
RV.
LV, but you're still capturing, you're
Yeah.
still pacing on the RV.
Okay, sorry, it would be loss of capture on the RV.
RV.
So LV, and then it moves across and CLM.
Because
Sorry.
you're actually
Correct.
sensing them.
Yeah.
Ring on the
But have a look here. So this is LV first here, and as we go up, you get instantaneous movement on the intracardiac electrogram.
Yes.
So when this stick happens, it captures. So I am definitely capturing the LV.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely capturing the LV, and I get this weird signal. Does this signal look any different to this?
No.
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 Looks completely different. If we were getting loss of RV capture, this far field channel would change. It would flip on its head.
The vector.
It would flip. You know, you'd be going from a right bundle pattern to extreme axis deviation, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. So this would change completely.
So
Okay.
actually, whatever we're capturing on the first, we're capturing on the second.
Correct. So that's LV RV capture. That's LV RV capture. There is no loss of capture in this electrogram. So what are these then?
What's going on at the same time in the AC channel? What's going on in the AC channel?
It's a broken lead.
I was going to say that there's something wrong with the lead.
It's
There's
a-
an inner
Thank
fracture.
Yeah, it's a fracture. This is the start of a broken lead. This is a. So these are fracture signals. Okay.
Yes.
And they're-
I saw this in the cath lab in the EP.
Oh, okay.
When you go with
Oh,
one catheter,
yeah.
another
Knock,
one,
knock.
and you get this artifact, and
Yeah.
you think this is potential.
So could be. So this is
They had
either.
an old lead, and this
Yeah, and they're knocking on the lead. Yeah. So this is either two leads in the ventricle touching
Yeah,
each other,
touching each other,
but
or-
he's only got one lead.
Or
Fresh implant,
inner fracture.
not fresh. Not it's an old implant, right? Or an inner cable problem. Okay. So the inner kind of cables are doing this and banging on each other, and we know where the failure is as well. I know exactly where not exactly. I'm pretty certain where the fracture is.
What?
Frac-
How
be-
come?
because it only happens in systole. So if it was here, why would it only happen in systole?
Yes.
Because this is not moving, right? So the heart's going to contract, and then the cables are the lead's moving, and the cables are going touch. Okay, so you will see this sometimes. Okay, so this is a very distal fracture, probably somewhere in the right ventricle. Okay, or across a tricuspid
how
valve.
did it affect the impedance?
Well, because the impedance is only done every 23 hours.
But it's
It's only done every 23 hours, right?
But it's consistently.
It is
for
perfect.
Months and
It
months
is
perfect.
perfect.
There is not single
Sometimes
reading
Not
that
even
time.
one signal.
fracture is seen with movement of shoulder or coughing.
But
Sometimes.
this is a distal fracture.
But this is a
It's
distal
not
fracture, so it's really hard. So what we would need to do, so if when we do the measurement, so when we do the lead impedance measurement, it does it when it's pacing. And we know it's intact when it's pacing, it's because when we pace, there's no systole, right? We pace, then it moves. Okay, so we're pacing, lead is like this. Then when it moves, it goes, but we're not measuring impedance at this point,
Yes.
so we don't see the fracture, right?
You measure impedance only when you pace. Second you pace.
The millisecond you pace, you measure the impedance every 23-hour
And
day.
it happened just a few milliseconds after.
Yeah, it happens about 100 milliseconds
You're
afterwards.
actually just sensing how much current it takes.
Yeah, basically. You're measuring the voltage drop, yeah, basically. So you can have a completely stable impedance, and actually your lead might be compromised. Now this is not serious. Well, we're concerned about this because this will probably escalate. Okay, yeah. this will probably escalate.
You've said a lot about the new advances in your
Can I
devices.
do with the impedance testing
Yeah.
without trend and do it manually?
Yeah, you could do it manually.
And,
Even then, it might not show a problem. Yeah.
You're gonna pace and you're gonna take it when you pace.
Yeah.
It won't make any difference.
Yeah. I mean, you could do some weird stuff, like you could program it to trigger pace, and then it might trigger, you might be lucky, you might trigger on here and you might pick it up. But just because the impedance is stable doesn't mean the lead's okay. That's the point, right?
Yeah.
That's the point, right? We've got extra signals going on
Yes.
that are not physiological and it fits with a fractured lead. Because every other thing we've ruled out, right? We've ruled every single other thing out, okay?
You've said a lot about the new devices and how they've become smarter and not
Yeah,
Have the leads changed in the past 10 years?
Yes, a lot. A huge amount.
Become cheaper or become better?
Better and cheaper. Better and cheaper. We put additional insulation material on the outside that's more protective against abrasion, and also the insulation we're using inside the coils, because you can have short circuits inside the cables, is more protective as well. So our most, if you like, our most robust or our most engineered lead to protect it would be a lead called the OptiSure lead, which is needs a 9 French introducer, so it's an 8 French lead. That's okay, but it's a very robust lead, right? It's got added insulation underneath the shock coils. It's got Optim insulation on the outside. It's an interesting
It will
lead.
live forever.
It might live forever.
I'm sorry, I had a problem yesterday, I couldn't come. And, I'm a big fan of parahiscine pacing.
Yes.
Are the leads going to get any cheaper? The time being, they really are expensive.
The HIS leads, yeah, they are very expensive from Medtronic. Yeah. So we are bringing a HIS catheter to the market. We're looking to bring the HIS catheter to market at some point next year, maybe 6 months, I don't know, into June, July.
It's his lead.
A HIS catheter.
What difference is it? It's a lead.
Well, we're going to just we're looking at a catheter
Yes.
to put you on the HIS that you put a normal pacemaker lead in.
A catheter,
A catheter,
a
a tube,
and you put it on the head,
yeah,
and then you go inside it,
with the lead.
yes,
Screw
then
it
you
in.
screw in, and then you pull out the catheter.
Correct.
Makes sense.
Yeah. We're quite good at making sense.
I mean, we're going to use
Now that's cheap.
we're going to use the normal lead.
Yeah.
That's great. So
You like that?
we're only going to pay for an extra catheter.
Yeah. That better?
And the lead is going to stay in place.
The lead will stay in place.
The same screw I use for the RP.
Correct. Which works well, yeah?
That's great.
Doesn't fall out, okay?
That's great.
So sometime next year.
Wait.
No guarantees on stuff,
Okay.
because it's always in the future,
Right,
non-guarantees.
it's a very
And we have to go
nice-
through FDA and all this kind of stuff. So that's our strategy.
You can bring it before it.
We can bring it to Egypt straight
Yeah,
away.
it's okay. We'll take it before MD.
Never mind the FDA. Okay, so fracture signals detected by the secure sense algorithm, okay? Yeah? Flagged by the secure sense. So secure sense will pick stuff up, and when it picks stuff up, it's always something interesting. There's always something going on, and this here is the very, very early stages of a failing lead. That's all this is, right? Which, if you don't have a secure sense algorithm, you never pick it up. You don't pick it up until it starts to get more serious, right? And then you start to see when the impedance starts changing, it's pretty advanced, right? I guess it's a bit like the heart failure, right? When a patient decompensates, right? The first thing that starts to happen is their pressures, their LA pressures or their pulmonary artery pressures are going up, right? It's way in advance. And then we pick up them way down the line where they're full of fluid, right? And they're going in the weighing scales and they weigh, 5 kilos more. This is kind of, if you like, very early warnings. And then decide what you need to do. You've got to then work out what you want to do in an individidual patient. And here's another couple of signals. So this is the same patient, and you can see it's clear that these are always in systole. They're never not in systole.
Please say that what you said to Professor Ryan.
HIS.
Yes.
Oh, I told you yesterday. We brought that up yesterday.
الموضوع ان هم بيقولوا ان هم هينزلوا كاتيتر ويستعملوا نفس الليد حضرتك بتاع الار دي يركبوه في الجسم. بمقسطره مجوفه ينزل بيها على
Wallahi, that
الباراليسيا.
was my opinion. I was trying to do his pacing with the screw in lead, the
Yeah.
7 French, but with the sheath of Medtronic. But I was afraid it will. I think the future for this is CRTP, one RV lead and one his spacing lead for safety of the patient.
Yeah.
One his 50, one LV.
But I think in CRT his spacing will work out.
الفكرة إن في preferential
From sustained spacing.
No. Just say just the natural history, right? They've got a left bundle. You know, they have this block. You've got a problem, right? So we'll see. We'll see how that progresses. But yeah, it's a nice thing. Okay, so this is inappropriate therapy and devices, right? So we have these are the inappropriate. This is pretty much the list of all inappropriate therapies, right? So if you've got a patient with inappropriate therapy, it's one of these, okay? And then the result is this here. So SVTs, get that. T-wave oversensing, you get this. Diaphragmatic sensing. This is important for you to see this. I'm going to show you this later on. Can result in shocks, can result in loss of pacing. P-wave oversensing, double R wave sensing, fracture signals, EMI. Okay, so we talked about sensibility, all this kind of stuff. So sensibility will fix this, might fix this, might fix this, won't fix this, probably won't fix this, and won't fix this. But the nominal device settings in our device, we'll talk about those in a bit, kind of fix this here. So.
What is the diaphragmatic oversensing, the contraction?
It's picking up the myopotentials.
Really?
Yeah.
I never saw in my life.
You will see.
Oh, do you see it?
Very shortly. I will show you it. And you'll be like, oh! No, and you'll never be able to see that again.
No.
So what rhythm is this? Quickly, come on. Oh, you're too good.
Oh, Professor.
Yeah. This is tremors, right? Yeah. But initially you look at that and you go, oh, it's VF. Shocking, right?
Yes,
Shocking,
I said
right?
VF.
Yeah, it's VF, right? Shock the patient quickly. But he's sitting there looking at you, shaking. Okay.
Why did our professor say VF?
Because she can see R waves. Yeah.
Because that's what
happens when you're a professor. So this is kind of what Secure Sense is doing, right? You know the Secure Sense algorithm. It's saying, okay, it really looks fast on one electrode. Check another electrode. They go, that's normal. Don't shock the patient. Hold off, okay? That's pretty much what it's doing, right?
But this would be the reverse. You will check you will find the higher rate on the cam to coil, but in the tip to ring, it will be normal.
Sure, yeah. So this is secure. Let's say this is the near field, and it's going very fast, and then you check off. Right. So that's kind of generically what it does, just as a kind of right. So if it's fast on near field and slow on far field, they don't correlate. The rates do not correlate. So the device says this is some kind of noise. Now it doesn't have to be a fractured lead, right? It picks up many different things: diaphragmatic sensing, fractured leads, P-wave oversensing, loss of capture on leads, particularly on the RV lead. They'll pick it up. Device will inhibit therapy. If the rates correlate, and they don't have to be exact, right? So if the near field is fast, it looks at the far field and it says, it basically asks, is it more than about 140 beats a minute, 145 beats per minute, roundabout. If it is, rates correlate, no failure, deliver therapy. Okay, works really, really nicely. Okay, so we talked about the filter yesterday a little bit. So this is the filter that prevents T-wave oversensing in our devices. Okay, right. So remember I was talking about we filter out T-waves, make them disappear, and you said, yeah, but if you make them disappear, other things disappear. You're absolutely right. So the bandpass filter, this low frequency attenuation filter, is on nominally in our devices, and what it does is it flattens T-waves in this area here, right down here. Okay, but if you dampen signals here, you will also potentially dampen particular type of VF. Okay, it's kind of small signal VF, right? Which is kind of VF you want to treat, right? So you could flatten those signals and not detect VF. So what the device does is it says, we know that's going to happen. So we boost certain signals, certain frequency signals in and around here. So very low amplitude signals, we boost them to make them bigger, okay? So as well as this here, there's different kind of filters operating within this kind of more generic bandpass filter, okay?
You mean it actually attenuates some frequencies?
Yep.
And
boosts others.
Accentuates other frequencies.
Absolutely, yes.
So that's frequency dependent.
Yes, completely. And you'll see what happens, right? So if it looks like this, it's flat. It pushes it down, right?
That's
if it,
single signal.
It's a single signal. If it's kind of spiky,
Yes.
it's going to boost it. Because spiky is important, okay?
That's very nice.
Yeah. So it works well. It does stop. So this is what it looks like. This is low frequency attenuation on. And if you look at the V-sense amplifier channel, this is the sensing channel. This is the R wave. This is the T wave. The ratio of R wave to T wave here is perfect, right? You cannot T wave over sense, right? This is perfect, right? This is a low frequency on. So low frequency flattens this, but it boosts this spiky signal. It actually makes the R wave bigger.
The T wave is a low frequency. It happens only every hour wave.
Correct, yeah. So we,
It's
yeah.
going to be a very high frequency,
Yeah.
very low.
So we actually, so with this filter, we make the R wave bigger as well, because we can amplify it, right? And then if we turn the LFA off, then you see what happens. The R wave has got smaller, and the T wave has got significantly bigger. It's not T wave over sensing because it's inside the pace refractory period, but you can see the difference that it can make. Okay, so we
Can it do that when it paces?
yes, it uses the LFA when it paces. Yes. So here's an electrogram from a device. Actually, I'll go to this one. This is much more interesting. This one, right? Like that one. Oh, sorry. Let me go back. Let's look at that one there. So this came through. Hello. Yeah.
Oversensing.
It's oversensing something, right? So this is a patient who's got complete AV block, a biventricular device, and this episode here came through on remote monitoring as a secure sense alert. Okay.
Yeah.
And all that is, it's a mismatch between the near and the far field, okay? So here's near field at the bottom, V-sense, 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 V-sense. There is nothing on the far field channel.
So he started pacing.
No, it didn't start pacing because there's sensing.
That's ventricle sensing.
Yeah.
Atrium is sensing nothing.
Yeah, no, atrium sensing nothing as well. He's got AV block and SA block. But it doesn't pace the atrium because these signals reset the lower rate timer, so it doesn't pace A, right? Yeah? So there's no pacing.
He's gonna die.
And then when he's going to die. And then A paces by V, A pace by V. So if you saw that, you might be a little bit worried, okay? Patient was asymptomatic, does not remember it.
Because of the secure.
Okay, you said it yesterday that it is you don't see the electrogram, but it is there.
See that? RV
Yeah.
bipolar. This is not telling us everything. This is a filtered, very filtered
Yes,
signal.
yes,
Do
yes.
not use this.
The
Yes.
gains.
The
Gains.
and the gain. Well, it's well, it's not just that. The gain is. I mean, the gain is the right size. Because look, when it
You have
says
to use the sense
You said this
amplifier.
yesterday.
sense amplifier.
Yes.
So don't use RV bipolar or A bipolar as the stored electrogram for episodes,
Yeah.
because it's not what the device sees.
So can we choose
Sorry,
it?
Yeah, you can pick it.
From where?
You can pick it from the episode settings.
So can you elaborate for a second on that?
Yeah. So when
Oh, man.
the device detects A sense amp and V sense amp, okay,
Yes.
that's what it detects of.
Yes.
But you can change what it stores, not how it senses. You can change what it stores on stored electrogram settings
Yes.
and make it A bipolar and RV bipolar. And some people do that because it looks more like an ECG
Yes.
rather than like a sharp signal.
Exactly.
But
the
this is not what the device is processing. This is a fake signal. Okay, it's a fake signal. It's not what the device. You'll see in a second why it. So
But the default settings is the
sense amp.
Yeah.
Default sense amp. So you would have to change
unless
it.
you change it yourself.
Yeah, unless you go changing it, which we would recommend you don't.
So do you know?
Because if you send it, because the person who sent this to me said, "Oh, what do you think's going on?" Well, I don't know. Well, I do. Because it's characteristic. Why would it come here? And it's low current, right? So it's small. So it goes up here, over here. So you only see it on superior leads sometimes, okay? So you can have superior lead detected EMI. This is quite normal. You see it on dual chamber pacemakers all the time. Not all the time, but quite frequently. You just see very high frequency noise on the atrial channel. And then people say, well, it's not on the ventricular channel, so it must not be EMI, so it must be a broken lead. And then they think about changing the leads. It's like, no, it's just EMI, it's just power system alert. Okay? So you can see, I'll show you some examples just of, it's more common than seeing it on all. It's much more common. Okay? so the superior detection. But if you have this and it's going up here and up here, you will see it on the far field channel. Okay, because the far field channel is going to the rocks, right? Okay, and it's the most wide open one. It's like a herbivore, right? Like a like a horse. It's got eyes on the side of its head so it can see everything. Not like a cat with eyes in the front, like a tip ring.
He says amp.
Yeah.
To ring.
Yeah. It does. That's all it's in, tip to ring.
And the bipolar tip to ring.
Yeah.
So why do I see different signals when I say V-sense amp or when I say bipolar?
So bipolar is a much more filtered sense amplifier signal.
That's software.
Yeah, it's also processing. Yeah. To make it look pretty for diaphragmatic and high potential over sensing, okay? And the characteristics are high frequency, low amplitude, only on sense amp.
Only on sense amp.
Only on sense amp. You will not get on this because it's here, right? It's here, right? And you can reproduce it. This is the other. So if you see this, some people think that this is a broken lead. And I know of at least 10 to 12 leads that have been extracted for diaphragmatic high potential oversensing.
I think if it's a fracture lead, it has to be higher.
Yeah, absolutely. Fracture leads will produce much bigger signals, huge signals.
Usually saturating the amp.
Usually saturating the sense amplifier, and not always though. You saw the one before, and also you cannot reproduce it with diaphragmatic tension. Okay, so this station, the doctor was like, his lead broken, bring him in. And the doctor who looks after this patient is very nervous about broken leads. He's had a few broken leads, bad experience now, so he's very nervous, rightly. So I said, no, it's not a broken lead, it's fine, it's not a broken lead, it's fine, it's this diaphragmatic sensing. And he's like, I want to take the lead out and put a new lead in. I'm like, don't do it.
So how could you reduce make the patient cough or
Deep inspiration. Valsalve, strong valsalval maneuver. Okay? So this is the patient, here he is, 5e pacing, trigger pacing, which is, as you can see, rubbish. And then here, this is him doing a doing a strong valsalval maneuver. Okay? And you can see this very, very high frequency and it's very low amplitude.
I saw this before.
Yeah.
But I could not diagnose it.
This is, yeah.
And sometimes the alert on the screen would say electromagnetic interface. I would ask the patient, did you pass so no. But I saw this before.
Yeah. So,
and it is recorded in the sensing channel.
Yes, just the sensing channel.
Not the far field.
Not the far field is clean, right? If this was EMI, the far field would be, because it's wider, right? It would be just all over the far field. Yeah. This is like 10 millimeters between these two electrodes. Between tip to ring. This is like the cat's eye, right? So it'll only focus on the front leg because it can kill everything, right? This is a horse. Seeing everything. Okay. So okay.
Only on RV
Only on RV, because that's the one that's near the diaphragm.
Yeah, I was going to say that because it's the closer one to the diaphragm.
Yeah. So strong valsalvas will cause this, and then this is us same.